talking about the economy here in Arizona, and I think the expert is GlennHamer from the Chamber of Commerce. And you were a part of the diversification of the Arizona economy when we were just going gangbusters, then the shutdown. So where were we and where are we?
So, Mike, we entered the pandemic-fueled recession as probably the top economy in the country. We're right here in Maricopa County, fastest growing county in the United States of America. So our economy was never healthier. What was the biggest problem facing employers? They couldn't get enough workers.
Right.
So, and I just want to say, this was really Governor Doug Ducey, the Arizona Commerce Authority, running the best economic development operation in the United States of America.
And it wasn't just jobs, but what we saw in the diversification with the statistic for me being a construction guy, more manufacturing jobs than construction. That in Arizona is an amazing statistic.
And that wasn't an accident. So after the financial panic of 2008 or so, the state made a conscious decision. We're going to diversify. Construction's great, home building is great, but we need to have other aspects of our economy doing well. And then you fast forward to today with year after year of great policy strides, and then having a business guy selling your state day in, day out. We entered the pandemic with, you're right, more manufacturing jobs than construction jobs in our state.
So what does that do for our position as we start climbing out? Opening things up now is great. It makes us feel better to be able to go out of our homes, but what about the growth out of this now?
I'm extremely bullish on where this state is. Having a business guy at the controls. So when you take a look at the orders that the governor put in place when the country and the world were shutting down, his essential services and activities order went further in terms of allowing economic activity as well as activities in any other state. For example, we never shut down manufacturing, we never shut down mining, we never shut down construction. And he was mocked nationally for allowing golf to stay open. Well, guess what? You fast forward to today, even New York has opened up golf. So he had the Midas touch really from day one. And now, Mike, the economy is re-energizing at a very rapid clip.
What we know that we're all connected in different places. Mexico being successful is important to Arizona, but let's go to L.A. L.A. County is talking about being closed down through July, possibly into August. What does that do for the Arizona economy potentially? I mean, nobody knows for sure.
It means that a great, iconic Arizona-based company, U-Haul, is going to be very, very busy moving people from California to our great state. The governor has prioritized public health, number one. He wanted to make sure that our hospital system could take a worst-case scenario. Well, it succeeded. We did flatten the curve. We all sacrificed a lot. But throughout all of this, the governor also realized that we can't shut down our entire economy. I mean, there's basic things we need, groceries and other necessities. But he also was smart enough to realize that if we put the right safety protocols in, we could keep a lot more of the economy going than other states. So, what I expect is, we entered this pandemic as the top economy in the country, arguably. We're going to exit it just that same way.
Big concern of the recession is a possible not that V-shaped climbing out. Do you see Arizona climbing out ahead of the curve of the rest of the country?
I do believe we will climb out ahead, but there are some sectors that are going to be more difficult. The tourism industry, which is probably 300,000 jobs, that's a really tough situation when you have the borders voluntarily closed and you have very little air travel. But again, what I believe will serve us very well is that now the national parks are starting to reopen. You're going to see a lot more domestic travel. So, I believe that some sectors are going to take a longer period of time. But you hit on it, Mike. That diversification is going to serve us super well as we climb out of this pandemic.
Now, internationally, we know that there are some things we've learned about our dealings with China with the amount of antibiotics and medications we get there. Without getting into the cause of the virus, economically speaking, there's got to be a diversification where we're not doing that. So does that benefit Arizona?
Huge opportunity. Wasn't lost on me that the first place that President Trump visited post-pandemic was right here in Arizona, to the Honeywell Phoenix plant that's manufacturing the most important piece of personal protective equipment in the world. That's the N95 mask. They're going to be making millions of those every month. So when you take a look at this bipartisan agreement that we need to move our supply chains for the things that you mentioned and other types of products back to the United States, we're going to win. And then you add on the fact that the U.S., Mexico, Canada agreement, probably the best trade agreement ever negotiated in our country, and that Arizona played a major role in, is going to take effect July 1st. I would expect to see, we're going to see a manufacturing renaissance in the state of Arizona.
So last question, about a little less than a minute left. Property value, not commercial real estate necessarily, but homeowners. We've not seen a big dip in the home prices. Do you believe that's going to stay consistent?
It's not going to stay consistent. Over time, it's going to go up. And the reason why, when you take a look at how Arizona is situated, we're not a dense place. I believe the high-tax, dense cities like New York, great city, I'm a Bronx boy, but you're going to see that migration that was occurring before the pandemic accelerate. I would invest in Arizona on residential. I would invest big time in the state of Arizona. Our brightest days are still ahead of us.
I said it before publicly, I'll say it again. I think having you as an economic mind in Arizona has been one of our biggest assets, and I always appreciate your expertise, and thanks for coming down.
Always great to be on your show. Thank you for the kind words, Mike.
All right, I'll be back.